Chris Sewall here, baseball card collector, investor, dealer in that order. Welcome to the good stuff. High Rollers Vintage Edition, and this week's is Vintage Edition because we're looking at the latest Heritage auction, which is usually heavily vintage, and this last Heritage auction is no exception. We'll jump right in after I mention that this week's list is brought to you by Hoodies Collectibles. They're a consignment company that will sell your cards for you via eBay auctions. I've been using them myself for a couple years now as part of my overall selling strategy. Great customer service. They get your cards listed fast and they get you paid quickly as well, much faster than some of the other companies. They've recently lowered their selling fees, and think about this chart for a second. If you sell a card through Hoodies for, let's say, $200, well, you're paying 14% commission. That's all in. I mean, if you sold a card yourself on eBay, that's about what eBay would charge you. But they do all the scanning, the listing, the shipping, the dealing with customers. They do all that for you. Plus, your item is being auctioned by an account with a lot more eyeballs on it than a standard eBay account. If you're looking to sell some cards, I recommend you give them a try. I've included their info in the description below, and I thank Hoodies for sponsoring this week's High Rollers. Looking at the 10 highest sports card sales from the latest Heritage auction, which ended on January 27th. Before we get to the top 10 list, we're going to look at some honorable mentions, and we'll start with pre-war baseball. Never seen this card before. 1920 heading home horizontal holding bat variation of Babe Ruth, PSA VGEX plus 4.5. That's a pop 1 with none higher. The nicest known copy on planet Earth goes for 66 grand. Satchel Paige in this super short print 1948 Leaf Leroy Satchel Paige rookie PSA X Mint 6. Beautiful looking card there. Goes for 60 grand. 1953 Topps Whitey Ford PSA Mint 9 Impossible set to get in this high of grade. $87,000. There are no 10s in existence of this card. Another set that's impossible to get high grades on, 1971 Topps Roberto Clemente's in the semi-high number series. And again, PSA Mint 9 is about as good as you can get with the 71s with the black borders, which are tough to get without chipping and along the edges and corners. $66,000 for Mr. Clemente. Who's feeling lucky? 1975 Topps Baseball unopened rack pack box. You get 24 rack packs in this box. It's sealed and certified by Baseball Card Exchange. $55,200. The 1975 set has 4 Hall of Fame rookie cards in it. If you know them off the top of your head, you are a baseball card nerd, and I have nothing but respect. George Brett, Robin Yount, Gary Carter, and Jim Rice are your answers there. 1969 Topps Baseball Complete Set. 664 cards in the set, 384 of them, so over half, are graded by PSA, an extremely high grade set. As you can see, the Reggie Jackson rookie is an 8, Mickey Mantle is an 8, the Nolan Ryan second year is a 7, etc., etc., etc. $33,600, but you think that's impressive? We are just getting started with our complete sets. How about a 1958 Topps Baseball Complete Set, high grade? Every single card is graded by PSA, and again, all the key cards there. You can see Mickey Mantle is an 8. Roger Maris rookie is an 8, Willie Mays is an 8, etc., etc., etc. $75,000. 1957 Topps Baseball Complete Set, 407 cards in this set. Every card is graded by PSA, including all the, you can see all the key cards there, Mantle, Clemente, Aaron, Mays, etc. And a lot of Hall of Fame rookies in this set, including Frank Robinson, Brooks Robinson, Don Drysdale, and others. $66,000. And one more set to show you for now, 1953 Bowman Color Baseball Complete Set. 160 cards in the set, so a smaller set, but as Yoda once said, size matters not. 143 of the cards are graded by PSA or SGC, and they all receive a grade of 7 or better. You can see Mantle's a PSA 7, and the really cool Pee Wee Reese in the lower right is an SGC 7. $38,400. On to football, Broadway Joe, 1968 Topps. That's a 4th year card. PSA Gem Mint 10, that's just a pop 4. $46,800. Gale Sayers rookie from 1966 Philadelphia. PSA Mint 9 from our Blazer division. No 10s of this card exist. $45,600. How about a 2000 Bowman Chrome Football Hobby case? You get 6 boxes in this case. And this, of course, is the all-important Tom Brady rookie year. That's what you're looking to pull. In theory, you could pull a Tom Brady rookie refractor, which would be big money. $39,600. The case is sealed and certified by Baseball Card Exchange. 1987 Fleer Basketball unopened case that comes with 12 boxes. No key rookies this year, but it has the Michael Jordan second year, which is the big money card in that. The case itself is not sealed, but all 12 boxes are sealed and certified by Baseball Card Exchange. 90 grand. How about a rare 90s basketball insert? 1997 Fleer Ultra Michael Jordan. This is a platinum medallion parallel. It's serial numbered out of 100. BGS Mint 9, $31,200. And a couple hockey beauties to end with. SGC 8 of this 1958 Topps Bobby Hull rookie from our Blazer division. Once again, that's a pop 2 with none higher. Absolute scorcher there. Looks nicer than an 8, at least eye appeal wise from here. $49,200. And how about a Gordie Howe rookie from 1951 Parkhurst, also an SGC, near mint 8, $32,400. All right, let's get to the top 10 here. Leading off at number 10, 1973 Topps, number 50, Roberto Clemente. It's graded a PSA Gem Mint 10, and this is Clemente's last card in the hobby, at least during his playing days. And the card looks, blisteringly sharp on the front. Any card from the 70s in a 10 is going to be a tough grade, of course. I don't know about the back here. There's clearly some chipping along the edges and borders, and a little bit off-centered on the back. I mean, I know the back isn't factored in as much, but 10 seems a tad generous to me. Just my 2 cents. Sold for $105,000 even, and I should mention that all the prices you see include the buyer's premium, so the hammer price was a little bit lower than this, but this is what the buyer is paying out of pocket to own the card. This is the all-time record sale of this card in any grade by a long, long way. The previous high was just $38,000. That was another PSA 10, which sold about 2 years ago. This card is a PSA Pop 7. Number 9, 1914 Crackerjack, number 103, Shoeless Joe Jackson. Graded a PSA Good Plus 2.5, and at first glance that grade appears about right. I mean, it sort of has notable issues throughout, but nothing really major. It's a little off center, some staining, especially towards the top. The corners are definitely a tad rounded, and maybe even a little crease in the upper right corner. The back has some staining, which is very, very common from these Crackerjack sets. Sold for $111,000. This is actually the all-time record sale of this card in any grade below a 5. The card has seen higher sales, but only in PSA 5s and 6s. This is the first ever sale of a 2.5, but that's because it is a Pop 1 in a 2.5. There are about 35 copies graded higher, but this card is extremely rare in any grade, and in fact, it's only been graded a total of 43 times by PSA. Number 8, remember all those impressive sets we saw in the honorable mentions? Well, check this out. 1956 Topps Baseball complete set. It's a 340 card set, and listen to this. Every single card is graded by PSA, and every card is graded at least an 8. Incredible high-grade uniformity. And you can see there, Mantle's an 8, Mays is an 8, Clemente's an 8, Ted Williams is an 8. Absolutely incredible collection to have put together. Sold for $111,000. There's no real key rookie in this set. Luis Aparicio is the only Hall of Fame rookie in the set. If it had a Clemente or an Aaron or a Koufax or something like that, this price probably would have been a good bit higher. Number 7, never seen one of these before. 1959 Topps Football vending box. And I had no idea vending boxes existed in the 1950s, let alone in football. I just assumed they started in the 1970s. But there you go, learn something new every day. This box is not sealed, as you can see. If you open it up, you can see the cards are still in these. I didn't know cards came this way, but apparently they come in little packs of, 5 or 10 maybe, and then each of those packs are wrapped in a little piece of paper. And there you go. That's how vending boxes apparently came in 1959 football. Sold for $117,000. Absolutely no comps to go off on this. I mean, the price strikes me as higher than I would have guessed, but again, this is such a rare item that that's hard to sort of put a value on. Number 6, 1959 Topps. Number 10, Mickey Mantle, graded a scorching PSA Mint 9, and looking at the front, I don't see anything to complain about. If you look at the lower left, I guess you could maybe call that a super minor print flaw, sort of just to the left of the Yankees logo, but that is really nitpicking. The back looks basically perfect, although maybe a slight discoloration of the cardstock. Not much. I would say a PSA 9 is an appropriate grade here. Sold for $117,000. This is the all-time record sale of this card in any grade, although not by much, just barely. In July of 2021, another copy, a PSA 9, sold for $111,000. This card's a PSA Pop 25, and there exists only one PSA 10 higher. That card has never been put up for sale. Number 5, 1979 Pwcc, number 18, Wayne Gretzky rookie, graded a PSA Mint 9, and this is essentially the holy grail of hockey cards. 9, you know, I've mentioned this before, the right edge here would bother me on a card graded a 9, but PSA seems to overlook that a lot with the OPC cards from the 70s and into the 80s. Back looks really, really sharp. Sold for $156,000. This sale's actually pretty much on the high side. It's the highest of the last 7 PSA 9 sales, and those 7 sales average $142,000. So it's a little high, but not crazy high or anything. The all-time record sale of this card in a PSA 9 was back in early 2021 when one went for $265,000. So the card's dropped about, let's say, 40% or so since then. It is a PSA Pop 91, and there are 2 copies graded higher in a 10. One of those 10s is the all-time record holder for a hockey card sale at $3.75 million. Number 4, one more just ridiculous set to show you, and that's 1952 Bowman Baseball. Complete set, 252 cards in this set, and again, incredible high-grade uniformity. Every single card is graded by PSA, and every single card is graded at least an 8. You can see the all-important Mickey Mantle second year in the upper left is an 8. The all-important second year Willie Mays in the upper middle is also an 8. And it looks like most of the major stars here in this page are a PSA 8. But again, just an incredible item to have put together. My props go out to whoever the collector was putting this this set together. Sold for $156,000. Yeah, not much to say about it other than really, really cool item. How about that for some high-end analysis? Number 3, just some incredible stuff this week. 1952 Topps, number 312, Jackie Robinson. The card is autographed, and the card itself is graded a PSA VG plus 3.5. The auto gets a DNA 8. And the card, I mean, eye appeal of the card is certainly much nicer than a 3.5. And just an incredibly rare item. I mean, Jackie Robinson passed away decades ago, so his autograph is not easy to come by any means. Sold for $216,000. This is only the second ever sale that I could find of a 1952 Topps Robinson autographed and authenticated by PSA DNA. The other was was an authentic, and that card looked like it was from the run over by a truck division that went for $126,000 about 4 months ago. So compared to that one, I would say this price seems about right. This card has been graded with an autograph by PSA a total of 6 times, but 4 of those, the card got an authentic grade because probably, again, from the run over by a truck division. So this is actually the second nicest copy of this card autographed. The only one higher received a PSA 5. Number 2, 1951 Bowman, number 305, Willie Mays rookie, graded a PSA near mint 8. Scorching card. The most notable issue is centering. Both left to right and top to bottom as you look at the card are slightly off, but not major. Everything else looks really, really crisp. Corners, edges, surface looks all sharp. I guess maybe the bottom edge as you look at the card is the tiniest bit jagged, but not much. The back is extremely clean and nice. Sold for $228,000. The sale is actually right in line. The last 6 sales of a PSA 8 have averaged $230,000, so absolutely nothing strange going on here. The all-time record sale of this card in a PSA 9 was in March of 2021, which was literally the peak of the boom of the hobby. That went for $338,000. The card is a PSA Pop 77, and there exist 9 copies graded higher, but there does not exist a PSA 10. And number 1, 1952 Topps, number 311, Mickey Mantle, graded an SGC near mint 8. Absolutely beautiful looking card in the black backdrop of the SGC holder. And card looks really, really sharp everywhere except for sort of a slant tilt, a slant cut, if you will. If you take a look at, say, the right border, the upper right border is a little, not as wide as towards the lower right border. And so, yeah, centering and the slight tilt would be the issue. That always sort of bothered me a little bit more but I think a lot of people don't really mind it so much. Everything else about the card looks essentially perfect, including on the back. Sold for $600,000. It's only the second ever sale of an SGC 8, and it's the all-time record sale of an SGC 8. It's funny, this is actually the second highest sale of this card ever in any SGC holder. The only one higher is the all-time record sale for any sports card, anything. That was a mantle and a 9.5 SGC 9.5 that went for $12.6 million. This is the second highest ever 52 mantle sale in an SGC holder. And for those wondering, PSA 8s go for about 1.5 million. So an SGC 8 only going for about 40% of a PSA 8. This card is an SGC Pop 4, and there only exist 5 copies higher in an SGC holder. But that's it. Your top 10 this week featured 2 Mickey Mantle and 1 each of Willie Mays, Jackie Robinson, Wayne Gretzky, Shoeless Joe Jackson, Roberto Clemente, 2 complete 1950s baseball sets, and a 1959 Topps football vending box. Thank you everyone for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Tomorrow is regular rollers, and see you all again real soon. Thanks everyone.